Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the free daily coaching morning webinar. My name is Bert Bledsoe, and I'm here with you. And we're not sure this week if I'm live or if I'm recorded, so you don't know. Each and every morning here this week, you won't know if we're live or if we're recorded. You won't know if we already had this set up or if we didn't have it set up. So this week, we're having a fun time because we're going to be traveling and doing some fun stuff. So you may notice that each and every day here at Free Daily Coaching, the background stays the same. My outfits may or may not change because you guys know I like to wear my morning hoodie. You may see guests coming over, but you won't know if we recorded it already ahead of time or if it's live. And we did that on purpose to do a little test and then let everyone in the Free Daily Coaching group go in each morning and say whether or not they thought it was live or whether or not they thought it was a recording. So we like to do a tech tip or something technical related on Tuesday. And over the past, 4 or 5 days, getting prepared to go out of town, getting a list of, I got to grab that list. I'm getting a list of all of the different webinars that need to be recorded while we're out of town and different things that have to get set up. I did a few things. I started consolidating some of my notes and getting a little bit more organized, mostly because if I don't clean up my desk and get this stuff organized before I go, my wife will decide that she wants to do that. And my wife's idea of organizing my stuff is she just picks it up in piles and like puts it into my desk, like just drops it into drawers. So I figured, hey, I might as well get it done before I go. When I did that, I had written down something fun that we had done last week. I think it was with Chris. And so I brought Chris over today for today's call because I thought we did some fun tech tip thing that I said to Chris that I was going to share. And then I went back and looked at my notepad and I had so many papers. I think I may have actually, here it is, maybe. I think I may have actually shredded it on accident. Do you remember, Chris? Last week we were talking about something fun that we learned to do, and I was going to show it here on a tech tip morning.
No.
Man, it was something super simple. And hold on, and I'll look on my notes. Let me look at my notes, kids. Kids, let me look at my notes.
Okay, teacher.
Let's see. It doesn't have to do with that or that. I can't remember now, guys and gals. Anyways, we'll just make something for you guys because there's so many different things that we can do on a regular basis. I literally, because it's fun, the one day of the week that you'll notice that we won't have something set up is this one Tech Tip Tuesday. And really it was because I have so much going on today that I wanted to get everything out of the way yesterday. So I wanted to get everything packed and ready and ready for this big trip that I'm going on, set up so that today we could just take phone calls. We could just work. We could do some webinars. So as many of you know, this afternoon we have at noon Eastern time, there's a webinar this afternoon with MLSP that I'll be doing. And so I just wanted to have the whole day for that. I wanted to have the day to work on MLSP on that webinar. I wanted to have the day to be able to take calls and field calls with Chris and Whitman and Craig and Debbie and all the people, right? So I wanted to be able to have that opportunity. So when I did that, I just got so carried away with like cleaning up. It looks like I literally cleaned right over my notes on something I wanted to do. So since we have a couple new people here, since we have quite a few visitors watching in on YouTube, I thought, hey, let's do a fun little tip that we've gone over before, but maybe everyone here isn't familiar with it, or maybe for those of you that are here, you forgot about it. So I'm going to show you something that is a super quick, super easy. For those of you that don't have the free graphics grab bag that I produced not too long ago, you can go over to Google, and let me do a screen share here. We'll go over to Google, and you can go to Google when you want to get an image. Let's say you want to get an image to share on social media, and let's say that you wanted a birthday cake, and you would want to make sure that when you clicked over birthday cake and then click on images here, that you use an image that you're allowed to use. So you're going to click the search tools and the more or the usage rights here under below it. And you want something that we can labeled for reuse. So all of these are ones that we can reuse, any of these pictures that they're showing us now. So let's just say I wanted to use this birthday, and let's say it was baby James' birthday, and I wanted to wish baby James a happy birthday. I could come over here, and instead of saving this whole image, I'm just going to copy the image. I'm just going to copy it. And if I come over to here to Facebook, and I'll go over to Debbie. You don't know, then baby James, Debbie's grandson. So we'll go over here, boom. Okay, and then I could be like this. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna hit paste, right? And see, since I copied the image, it's pasting it in. Okay, and then I can put a little picture, and then I can hit post, right? And it's gonna post this picture. Now, if Debbie doesn't want this on there, she can go and take it off. But then boom, I just pasted that picture. I didn't have to copy it. I didn't have to file it onto my computer. And if you're like me, then you probably have like 8 million different images and pictures on your computer that you've saved over and over and over and over again. And simply because you've been doing all these pictures, right, Chris? Like you just have files and just pictures, all these images, right? And what I did is I used to save them all to my, and I'll show you guys here. I'll show you guys a screen share. I used to save them. Here's my entire screen share. I'll make this down. I used to share them right here onto my desktop, and this is where I saved them. And then I still usually do. And then usually at the end of the month, anything that I'm not using, I'll go and take and I'll dump like this picture, it's marketing, affiliate marketing, right? These I'll already, and I already uploaded that one I know, and this one I know. Whoops. So I'll upload them to it, and I'll put them into the correct folder, and then that way my screen, my desktop isn't cluttered. But what happens is then you just have files and files and files of pictures when you probably really don't need all those pictures. So you could simply just come over here, find the picture, right click, copy the image, right? Just copy image, and then come over here to Facebook or wherever you're going to do, and then just paste it in, and it'll just paste it right in. So super, super simple. And then I'll just go out of there.
I'm glad you did that one again, Bert, because I'd forgotten about that. I mean, I knew about the usage rights, but I'd forgotten about just copying the image.
Yeah, so you can just copy that image, and it's just so much faster. It's so much easier. And the thing is, if you're using if you're using Google, then you just want to use the search tools and use those usage rights. And here's the main reason that you want to stay in congruency with that. Wouldn't it be so tragic if you did some marketing, you went out and set up a campaign, you went out and got a bunch of attention, a bunch of exposure on something that actually started to convert, you actually started to get a great result, and then all of that was negated because someone came after you because you were using a copyrighted image or a trademarked image? That would be so horrible. It would be so devastating to your business and to your mindset that it's much easier to just bypass that and not have to worry about that, right? So go over and either find stock royalty-free and copyright-free images, or you can go over to Google, do the usage rights, and find labeled free reuse, or you can tap into like products like the free graphics grab bag where you can grab literally thousands and thousands of images. So a little tech tip for a Tuesday morning: how to grab images, how to not have to have all those images saved directly to your computer, right? You can literally just go over, right click on that image, and you could just copy the image. And the cool part is, and let me see if I can show how to do this, if it'll work, is you could do this within Facebook. So I could come over here, and let's say I just want to go over and I just go to my news feed here, and I'm looking and I go, okay, well, you know, let me see something that I like, and let me just find a picture. Okay, so here's a picture from Elizabeth. Have you ever looked back at your past and realized it was God that kept you alive? So I could click on the picture, right? And it comes up, right? And then here's the picture. And if I right click on it, I could just copy the image, right? So I don't have to share it. I mean, obviously on Facebook, that's the idea, but let's just say I wanted to have this specific image and I want to go paste it. So I right clicked and copied the image, and then go over to my fan page, and I'm going to paste it. Right, and then I'm going to hit that. And all I did was just copy the image and I pasted it in, and look, now I got that full-size image right now on my page, right? So you could literally go in and just find images if you wanted to that you wanted to use, if it was, you know, if you're allowed to, right? And you can come in here and grab images. So obviously you want to grab an image of something that, you know, would pertain to you, right? So, or what it is that you're promoting, and that's it. You're going to come over, and if you find some cool images, right? Boom. There's my buddy Bob. Okay, right here. Right, there you go. There's my post. So there's all kinds of them, right? So all kinds of images that you can go through and grab. So that's the deal on grabbing quick, easy images. I was trying to scroll through and see if there was any more. There wasn't any real more that were popping up on Facebook that looked really good that I wanted to grab, but it's simply just right clicking on the image and copy the image and then paste the image into Facebook. And then you don't have to save it to your machine. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I have 27 images now that I have to go and delete or file or do whatever. The only time that you really need to save the image is if you're using it specifically to save it to a blog post or to some online real estate. Maybe you're putting the image on a blog post or to a funnel or a capture page that you have. In that instance, of course, you would want to save the file to an appropriate folder on your machine. But otherwise, if you're just using it on social media and you don't really need to keep those images, you could just simply copy the image, paste the image in, and then be using that in your social media campaigns. Quick, easy way to use images. Bert called us kids. Most of us are older than him. That is true. So I was just seeing if there's any of your of questions over here. Boom, boom, boom. Good that you didn't know about the usage rights. It is funny that, okay, so let's talk about that, because that's a funny statement that Craig made, that it's funny that Bert called us kids and most of us are older than him, which is true. Yeah. Most of, a lot of the, not most of you, well, maybe most of you that are here, but I don't know if it's most, but let's just say there's quite a few of the people that I work with that are older than me, and I call them kids. But think about it in this terms. If we thought about it if we reverse the roles, I could probably ask Chris Schaus a question about parenting or grandparenting or a life question, right? And a life's experience question that Chris would be able to give me good data, right? Good feedback. Same with you, Craig. Why? Because you've been around for a few more years than me, right? So you have more input to be able to give back to me in that area. In this area, it's like the roles got reversed. It's like I'm the adult and you're the kid. Why? Well, because my whole entire life, I grew up with this stuff. Not as much as my kid, but I grew up with this stuff, right? Like my generation is the generation, we started right before me with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and that, like those people in the late 70s, early 80s, right? Think about that. I was born in 73. So by the mid 80s, I was perfect time to be on the computer, right? So I started on these things when I was a little kid. So to me, this all makes sense. When I look at the screen, it doesn't take me as long to figure things out. It seems obvious to me how all of these things are connected and how they work together. But for someone that doesn't use that or didn't, right, then that they didn't grow up learning that, it's like in their mind, they're like a child. Because what's a child? A child's like, excuse me, like an open vessel, right? That we fill up, right? Because we teach children, right? Because children don't know words, they don't know ideas or thoughts, right? So we give them the words. That's why we can teach children multiple languages when they're little, because they're like an empty vessel. So it's kind of like the roles reversed for this situation, where you guys are more of like the empty vessels that I could pour in. Like, here, if you didn't know this, let me show you these tricks. Let me show you how you could use this to your advantage. And I like what Len mentioned, that we're all still kids at heart. I got to tell you, I feel exactly the same way. When I saw Len, whenever I see in the summertime when he's out on the river, or when I see him skiing, or when you guys see me up on the mountain and I'm snowboarding and stuff, you know, I forget that I'm not a kid until I do stuff. Right? Like my wife and I exercise in the mornings after the free daily coaching call. That's what we do on the regular. And so it's been super cold and muddy and just nasty. And I don't mind running in the cold and the snow, but here the soil is so soft and muddy. It's like a nightmare to run in. And so we've been running on the treadmill. Well, in between the treadmills, I've been doing some other workouts, right? I literally been doing some other workouts. So some like upper body stuff and like push-ups and like curls and shoulder stuff and all that. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, oh man, it's not like I'm a little kid anymore, right? Like I can feel it in my joints, not just in the muscles being sore, but it's in my joints. So I feel like a kid though, right? I still feel like a little kid. Right? I feel like a little kid running around. I'm always playing. I'm wearing pajamas that are, unicorn pajamas. My wife got me underoos, right? That are made for children. Remember underoos? They got them for adults. I got them for Christmas. I thought it was like the greatest thing ever, right? I got like Boba Fett underoos. I'm running around the house in my underoos. And why? Because I feel like a little kid too. So I think that idea, is a great idea to bring with us, right? That childlike mentality. And what if you brought that all the way through? What if you brought that childlike mentality through with you when you were training, when you were learning, when you were starting to absorb all of the marketing that you're doing? What if you just, instead of being that jaded adult, that guy that was like, oh, this probably isn't going to work. Oh, this is probably some other BS that they're going to sell me, or, oh, this is this, right? Instead of going through the negative tapes, what if you went through it with the eyes of a child? What if you went through started to do your marketing and taking your actions with the heart of a kid, with the spirit of a little kid? What if you did that? Because that's really what I've done in my business. I've just kind of abandoned it and just been like, hey, you know what? This is in my imagination. This is what I want to do. I'm going to go for it. Like when you were a little kid, no one was going to tell you that you couldn't do something. Like if you said you're going to go do it, you were just going to go do it, right? Like that was it. And something got taken away. It's like we took our dreams away from ourselves. So what if you took your dream and what if you actually took the steps required to get you to your dream? I put up a post this morning. I'm going to go a little bit into some mindset because I showed you the tech tip for the day, but I really feel strongly about this, and I'm going to start doing more of this. And here goes, Chris, another rant. But I think this is so important. And I put this up today as the best way to find yourself is lose yourself in the service of others. If you want to go out and create something, if you want to go build this home-based business, if you want to go out and change your life, then go do it. For goodness sakes, stop talking about doing it. Stop imagining doing it, because imagining is only the first half. That's just the mind part. That's just where we see the vision. Then we have to follow that decision. We have to follow that vision with action after action after action. That's what we have to do. We have to take the action. When you're a little kid and you're building a fort, you don't give a shit about engineering or anything. You don't know about engineering. You don't know about math, about how the sheets are going to work and the pillows. You just go get sheets and pillows and blankets and chairs and you just build a fort. You don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to engineering or how the sheets are going to stay up or how you're going to make the fort. You just go build the fort and you just go use your imagination and you just go do it. Right? And you just make it. And then you're like, look at this, I made a fort. So what if you did the same thing in your business? Go make something, go do something. It doesn't matter if it's awesome on the first time. It doesn't matter if everyone buys the first time. That's not the point. The point is, will you take that energy, that spirit, that childlike innocence and go and run with it? Will you use the vision of the child's eyes to see like you used to see? Or are you going to continue to look at it through your 45-year-old dated, the world's treating me wrong and I made bad decisions and my kid didn't turn out the way I thought he was going to, and my grandkids don't behave the way they should, and blah, 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 and the taxes are too much? And are you going to get caught up in that? Or are you going to look and go, oh my gosh, look what I could do? What could I do? Because check this out, it's not like it used to be. The world is not like it used to be. If you grew up more than 25 years ago, more than 20 years ago, the world isn't what it used to be, yo. This is a new world we live in. You could just make stuff up out of thin air. They literally have printers that will print an object, not like a bunch of dots that finally make a letter. I'm talking about a machine in your house that you could put in a picture of a doll and it will make the doll for you. You could make something seemingly out of nothing. The internet, the computer, what we're doing right now. I have my own TV show that happens every single morning. Now, it's not broadcast on CBS and it's not on NBC yet, and we haven't got the late night gig with Jimmy Fallon, but we have a TV show essentially that runs every single morning. It's called Free Daily Coaching. It's being broadcast across the entire planet right now via the internet on YouTube. How amazing is that? Did you ever imagine that you could do that in your business, that you could get on a computer and literally talk to anyone from across the globe? That you could market your business via video. This is just one idea. This is just one channel. This is just one marketing source. If you were able to use your imagination, what could you do? Here's a real story. About 5 years ago, maybe 4, my son came to me, maybe it was 5. He wanted like a video camera when those flash flip cams came. Remember the flip cam? It's like a big box, kind of look like your phone, but it's like thick like this, right? And he wanted it because he's going to be a vlogger. That's what he told me. He's going to be a vlogger. He's going to do a video blog. And I literally looked at my son and I told him, you know, you're a really smart kid. You need to continue doing your schoolwork because I don't know if that's a real thing. Right? I don't know if that's a real thing, Wyatt. So I told my son. And guess what? It's a real thing. There's people really doing that, making real money, making real difference on the planet, all because of a YouTube channel. That's absolutely incredible. It's amazing that that could even occur. So that's my rant for this morning. The tech tip is, go out and get some images, just copy the images and paste them over into where you need to use them. You don't need to keep an entire file. You don't have to keep all these images if you're just using them for a quick pop over on to social media. So a little tech tip, a little rant, a little wondering, is Chris here? Or did we record this yesterday? Or did we record this morning before we broadcasted it? Were Chris and I already up at 5 o'clock this morning, filming, getting crazy, sitting here on the ranch, filming videos? You don't know, but you can guess over in the free daily coaching group. And over the next 2 weeks, we're going to do some fun little stuff. We'll throw out some fun prizes for the guessers or who guesses the most. And of course, every Friday during the next 2 weeks, while I'm away, we will still have a featured friend of free daily coaching. And of course, the lovely Miss Chris Schaus in the house coaching will be our guest panelist. She'll be our interviewer and our host extraordinaire. Today, Chris, if you'll stay for just a minute when we're done with the broadcast, today what we'll do for you folks is we'll go ahead and link our channels so that for those of you that forget or you miss it and you haven't figured out where to go for Chris's, we'll put it over on the free daily coaching playlist as well so you can see those. And I'll sync up with Chris to be able to do that. So I want to thank you all for joining us here at Free Daily Coaching. We'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, for the rest of the week, and you can decide, are we live or are we recorded? And for those of you that want to come and join us live this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll see you over there in just a bit. I'll send you there now. Go get registered, and we'll see you this afternoon. We'll see you guys the next time.
Hello.